we are going to continue following Silky in his run. He gets knocked down to the lower bracket where he has another chance in another qualifying match.
Yes, this is once again going to be a best of 5. We may or may not have predictions here because we did jump in pretty quickly into the second qualifier, but still, everybody, let's have a bit of a cheer on Inside and Out. We're in the top right-hand corner map, swatting all the way in that top right-hand corner. We, of course, have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of China. He is going to be representing the Starving Camel Clan SSLT. He is Silky.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the Chinese Protoss player himself representing Mystery Gaming. It is Nanami.
Very cool to see a new team coming up recently in the region. I have to double check, but I believe it was one of the teams that came as a merger from a couple of clans from Taiwan and China and Hong Kong as well, with the express purpose to play in WTL.
Yeah. I don't believe Mystery Gaming is one of those teams, but that has been happening where a lot of teams have been kind of joining forces for that. I'm not too sure what the history is behind Mystery Gaming. It is a mystery. But if anyone in the chat, because I know there are a lot more people that are a little bit more ingrained in the Chinese scene, if anyone in the chat knows a little bit more about the team, let us know.
Yeah, maybe it's a personal team of Mystery Man.
maybe. It's possible. Oh my god. But yeah, myself and I'm familiar with Nanami. I believe we were able to cover them during the qualifiers, at least one of the seasons. It is a relatively familiar name to me. So yeah, I'm ready to be impressed.
As am I, especially when you're able to take out Jollywell Loves 2-0. It was a bit of a different matchup there, but no, it's the same matchup. No, wait, actually.
PvP.
Jollywell Loves PvP, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so a little bit of a different matchup, but still. It's a very impressive result, and hopefully that does transfer over here to a PvZ against one of the favorited players.
Oh yeah, and we'll see how they play this out as well. It's also possible that Nanami was watching Maxed versus Silky. Very possible that happened because Nanami has been waiting for a while. So we'll see if Nanami tries to adopt any of Maxed's builds. Because I think the other exciting thing is that Maxed did something a little bit different each time. I guess game number 3 was a little bit more reminiscent to what he did in game 1, but did kind of adapt and go into a much more mass disruptor style.
Yeah, we'll see if there's a little bit of that influence going on here for Nanami, but for the time being, he is opening up pretty standard with the Stargate, but he instead goes for the Void Ray first instead of an Oracle. Does follow it up very quickly with a Twilight Council, however.
Interesting. Okay, so here we go. The Void Ray is going to be coming out, but unfortunately won't be able to deny the scout. This Overlord won't just see the opener, it will see the follow-up. It will confirm the Twilight Council alongside these gateways.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for a sec that maybe it's a fake out Twilight Council, but no, it was taken very, very early on.
Yeah, and this is pretty committed because this is 4 gates, by the way. So whether it's 4-gate Blink or 4-gate Glaives, like this is going to be quite a commitment. There it is. Glaives are going to be on the way, but because it was Stargate first, there will not be a Robo. So yeah, kind of an interesting take on this.
Yeah, it's kind of the glass half empty, or the best of both worlds style when you're going for a glaive build like this, where you're not super committed, you're still expanding, and you're just going to be warping in units on your side of the map to try to shade them across the map. But at the same time, you're also warping in a lot of adept, so you still need to do some damage. I guess it's a Goldilocks variant of this build.
Yeah, I think because of that fourth gateway, like, more damage will have to be done here, but it did all get scouted, and we already have a Roach Warren, so Silky should be able to prepare himself. We do have the Lings moving out, and the Lings do spot the move out, so now we have plenty of time as, ooh, Silky did just drone.
He did, but thankfully he did already have a Roach Warren finished up, so roaches are now being produced. There is a bit of a window of opportunity where Chiaki can get a ton of drone damage done, especially if he catches some transferring workers.
Yeah, exactly. Silky was being a little bit greedy. We'll see if he can get away with that greed. So far, all the Lings are going to get cleaned up. Roaches are trickling on in. The Adepts haven't gotten into a mineral line yet, but they slowly are. Oh my god!
A transferring work? No! They evacuated right into the arms of these glaive Adepts, and 8 workers go down. Nice little bit of damage here from Chiaki, but I am absolutely sure he wants to get more.
Yeah, exactly, and he can get more. We saw plenty of Adepts. The workers, they transfer back over. Thankfully, this time, they will avoid this shade, and I do think that now there are enough roaches where the Adepts have kind of run out of usefulness a little bit. It would be wise to turn around, or maybe there's a world where he's able to get a little bit more damage done.
Yeah, he's still got a shade back and forth between the spaces. If an opening ever presents itself, then you just got to commit to that shade and get a ton more drone damage done. But for now, Chiaki knows that it's not super likely that'll happen, so he's just getting to the next phase of the game. He's saturating that third base. He's getting charged. He is throwing down 4 more gates, actually.
Oh. Okay, so we're going to be seeing 8 gateways and a charge here for Nanami. Still no Robo, by the way, which is a little bit surprising to me. There's no Templar Archives either, so it's just pure gateway army.
Yeah, not a very high-tech or sophisticated army here coming out from Chiaki, but brute force can sometimes be powerful enough to break Zerg.
It definitely can be. It can be. So we'll see if that's going to be enough. So far, we have a 4th base on the way, so it looks like we aren't necessarily going to be hitting a timing here with +1. We're just looking to defend our bases. Roaches do run into all these outs. These roaches are all going to go down, but at the same time, we have a Ling run by.
Yeah, I love the combination of force field and body blocking going on over there, but this is absolutely the right move from Silky to try to kill as many probes as possible while his opponent is distracted. Battery overcharge being popped, and it will keep some Zealots alive for a very long time. And when it's all said and done, Chiaki only loses 4 probes.
Yeah, a great trade here from our Protoss player. At the same time, Void Ray is being a little bit annoying. And, ooh, Silky had thrown down a Spire behind this, so we are going to be getting into some meters.
I don't see anything that shoots up right now, Light. I'm just saying. Blink is on the way, and of course the Stargate can start producing a couple of Phoenixes.
There are zero roaches, by the way, Yaku. Now there will never be a roach because the Roach Warren will go down. I feel like these Zealots could be doing a little bit more. It looks like they will go for these Queens. Mutas come out just in time, and Mutas will slowly clean this up, but there's a lot of potential for these Zealots to just wreak havoc.
Yeah, already 11 drones have gone down in the third base location. I love that force field from Nanami. He did leave a little bit of a gap to allow his Zealots to slip on in and get another surround. The entire economy is pretty much forfeit here for Silky, and all Nanami has to do back home is defend the counterattack.
Yeah, thankfully, a lot of drones were saved because they were all just rallied into the main base, but a lot less mine time. We're down to 58 drones here for Silky. We do see that these Zealots will eventually be cleaned up, but again, a lot of time to respond, a lot of time for Nanami to make Phoenixes.
Like so. He doesn't even need to chrono them out. That's how confident he is.
Oh my god, he's not stopping.
Wait, he's Zealots the absolute MVP right now. Nanami almost playing this out like a Zerg player.
Yeah, the Rumbais, yeah, they just didn't stop at all after all said and done. It looks like 37 drones did go down in that entire fight. The drone count for Silky is still okay, but a lot of his hopes and dreams are in these mutas. These mutas have to deal with some counter damage.
Which is kind of difficult to do when you have this many Blink Stalkers prepared.
Honestly, if this army moved out across the map, I think it could just end the game. I'll be honest, Buffy, I'll be honest. Yeah,
Nanami being a little bit cautious right now, but I mean, it makes sense. He doesn't want to throw away his lead. He can pretty much do anything, and he'll still be advantaged.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to try and catch the mutas if he can with these Phoenixes. We have a little bit of a willing run by, but the wall is the wall. The fourth is completely safe. And instead of moving out with his army, the Stalkers will stay at home, and we have a couple of Zealots moving out of their own.
Yeah, right in the middle of the map, which is a little bit odd to say the least. It will get scouted by the creep, but just like that, what were we just saying? Like, if Nanami moves across the map, there is nothing for Silky to defend against this army.
Oh, but you know what? We're going to be seeing a mess around here with these Lings. Maybe the Lings are going to be enough. Can they pull it off?
We shall see. Lings are providing a little bit of a buffer for the rest of this army. It is distracting the Stalkers for a little bit, but they've been cleared up, and there's nothing stopping the Phoenixes and the Stalkers from getting on top of these mutas. GG. Nanami takes game number 1, which, again, I was not quite expecting this. I was not quite expecting the PVZ to go so far in the favor of Nanami here.
You know what I think? I think right now Silky is like, why can't these guys just play like goddamn hero? He's like, no one has gone triple Oracle into Blink Stalkers, Papi. What's happening? Like, what's going on?
That's where I place all my preparation for tonight.
This is all I play against. It's all I play against on the Korean ladder. What's happening? What is all of this? What is this like 4-gate Glaive Adept into charge all in? Not like what's happening? And like
you know what's happened here? Silky, he's been away from home too long. He's been laddering on KR. He's forgotten how Protoss players play in China.
He's forgotten about the Chinese scene, mate. I do think that is a part of it though, because again, his opponents, both Maxed and Nanami, have been just going for certain builds and compositions that are really out of left field, very out of the norm, very off meta. And I think Silky's just having a really hard time with that.
Yeah. As demonstrated, but we'll see. We've seen in his series against Jim, he can really be very adaptable, but he's going to need to bring that out a little bit more now. As we move on to Moondance, which apparently doesn't translate to Mandarin, so, we have it in English here on the map. Where in the bottom right-hand corner map, swatting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of China. He is going to be representing the Starved Camels, SSLT. He is Silky.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Moondance, we have the Chinese Protoss player himself representing Team Mystery Gaming. It is Nanami.
Or apparently, as we're being informed here by 47S, also known as Super High School of Protoss. That's what Mandarin characters spell out.
I like the idea of high school Protoss. Let's go. Like,
I want that anime.
Oh god, it's like, yo, this is how we do in the schoolyard, boy.
This is a track field or something. The school president of Protoss, Artanis, is coming down.
Oh no.
I want the entirety Legacy of the Void campaign just translated to a high school anime.
Not like this, mate. Not like this. Oh god, but yeah, a very strong showing there by Nanami in game number 1, but again, very off meta, very off tempo, going for these chargeless, going with a follow-up Phoenixes, like, to be fair to do with these mutas. Yeah, just really, really catching Silky off guard. If you remember, when the Zealots went across the map, when the Adepts went across the map, there weren't any roaches. When the Zealots went across the map, there also weren't any roaches either. Like, just Silky had no idea these pushes were ever coming.
Yeah, there were roaches in that game, just never when we needed roaches.
Yeah, they were never there when we needed them, Dad. Oh god.
What if your players have been telling you, like, what?
Look, I didn't cast Startup today for a reason, okay?
Yeah.
Moving on. We do see another Stargate opener coming out from our Chinese Protoss player. Again, everything's looking pretty normal so far, but if you remember last game, he did go for a Void Ray first.
He did, following it up immediately with Glaive to Depths, and we'll see if he decides to change things up this game or not. on Moondance, I would normally anticipate the Protoss player to be a little bit more defensive when they open up, just because of the sheer potential of Ling Floods on this map. But for now, Nanami doing pretty much the same thing.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, we are on Moondance, and Moondance does allow for a couple of things here. Nanami is being very greedy. He went for a gate, Cybercore, Stargate, straight into a third base. Just because of this pocket, you can get away with this sort of thing as a Protoss.
Yeah, so once again, still going to be very, very safe as he expands and as he gets that third base a little bit quicker. It does have fewer mineral patches. It does have one less gas geyser, but at least he's going to have income.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it does mean that he can even just take a fourth base faster as well. Like, everything can be faster for the Protoss player here. We have seen a lot of players even try and go into double Stargate Void Ray again on this map, but we can see that's not going to be the case here. It's a Void Ray first, but we are taking up in a bit of a different direction.
Yeah. Robo Facility has been thrown down, and I imagine we'll see a Robo Bay pretty soon, just because of how... Well, I was going to say just because of how roach-heavy Silky was playing the previous game, but he wasn't really, was he?
Yeah, like, he got the Roach Warren at a certain point for safety, but that's it. And it's happening again, Yaku. It's happening again.
Yep.
And this is looking like almost like a charge all-in. We'll see. I mean, we do have some gases. We'll see what kind of Twilight Council upgrade we get. But once again, we have +1 melee. Like, so I can see it so clearly. Silky is like, I just want to play against Blinkstalkers. That's all he wants in life right now. That's all he wants. And he's going to go up against Charged Archon.
Yeah. You know, as they say, if you're playing blind, then you should play safe. And Silky kind of is playing safe to the current meta. But of course, Nanami says, screw the meta. I'm gonna do whatever I want, and it just so happens whatever he wants counters the safety of Silky here.
Yeah, there we go. We have 2 Archons being morphed in right now, and soon they're going to be on the way across map. There we go. They're already here in this prism. Meanwhile, we have our Forge. We have 4 more gates being thrown down as well. Once again, 8 gates soon to be charged. There it is. Charge is on the way. +1 is going to be on the way. And none of this has been scattered.
Yeah, finally the Archons do reveal themselves, but the Hydra Den is already almost done. Like, it's gonna take a very long time, and before Silky can really come up with an answer to Charged Archon.
Like, this is how Silky lost to Maxed earlier today. Like, this exact same scenario happened, which is just crazy. I don't know if Maxed messaged him, or maybe it's just Chinese meta. Like, it's possible. But yeah, I'm really concerned here. What I will say is that thankfully these 2 Archons haven't dealt too much damage. They got like an Overlord, they traded with Lings, nothing too crazy, and upon scouting this Overlord, Silky should recognize this and he should start responding as well. Yeah,
but we'll see just how he decides to do that. There are definitely a couple of options available to him, but he does need to get a bit more of a stable economy before going into any of them.
Yeah, what's important is that this Prism did just scout the Hydras as they were coming out. So now he's fully aware of the composition. Hydra, Lingbane Hydra. Oh.
Is that a macro hatch being made by the 3rd?
It is.
Well, at least he'll have units on the front line quicker.
Yeah, I mean, this just goes to show that he really wants to commit to those Lings. I mean, he's working on +2 melee, for example. Like, again, he really wants to commit to this composition, but it really can struggle against what he's going to be going up against. There is a world, though. There is a very real world where maybe these Lings, they go for a run-by. Maybe they sit past the army and they get in and the wall is not a wall.
Yeah, now that Nanami is going for that 4th base, he has exposed himself a little bit He doesn't have that much army supply to split up his army and defend 2 locations at once. He's gonna have even less of an opportunity to do that now that he's moving out across the map. But that is a full wall.
That is a full wall. The Banelings are about to morph in right now. They need to get in with the charge lots.
And the charge lots do get deleted, but they don't really get to deal with the rest of the army. The Lings do slip in, but they're not really doing much to take out the units. I say that, but 20 probes have actually gone down.
Yeah, so the Lings are They're going to completely shut down the economy here of our Protoss player. Meanwhile, we need a weapon of Zealots. If we do get a weapon of Zealots, then our Protoss player Nanami will be able to just overwhelm because every single Hydra just died.
Yeah, he's prioritizing the Archon micro for now, but like you said, he doesn't really have much of a buffer remaining. We have gone full base trade right now. Nanami has given up on trying to defend those probes. Silky has given up on trying to, well, no, Silky is actually still defending his bases.
Yeah, exactly. We have a couple of Hydras. Yo, can they get the Prism? Up!
They will get the Prism, and there's absolutely no way for Nanami to reinforce his army anymore. Silky still has to be careful. Here comes a couple of Zealots.
Yeah.
To reinforce this.
But again, these Zealots, they're coming in from across the map. They were not here with the Prism, so just like that, Silky has defended. He was able to counterattack, and he's actually in a good position.
Yeah, brilliant position. He has so many bases available to him. He can very easily remake those drone losses. I mean, just look at the worker supply difference.
Exactly. It's one of those things where I love the counterattack. I do think that if both armies faced off head to head, then Silky would have lost everything. It would not have worked out. But he was able to cripple the economy of Nanami, and now he has a fighting chance.
Like so. These Archons getting right on top of these Hydras, and without a Zealot buffer, Archons aren't really too scary for Hydras.
Yeah, exactly. And even though like this Protoss army is trading relatively well, like it's still a trade that Nanami cannot afford.
Yeah, it's a trade that Silky can afford the losses very, very easily. He can just remake anything thanks to the superior economy. The same cannot be said for Nanami, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this was honestly, like, again, this was one of the only ways for Silky to win this game is if he was able to go for that massive counterattack and cripple that economy. That's exactly what he was able to pull off. And now he just has to defend. He just has to macro up, try and recover his drone count, take control of his own bases, and that is exactly what he is doing.
With pretty much no resistance. You know, I was questioning it a little bit, but I guess the macro hatch at the third really did help him out. It allowed him to get his units on the front line a little bit quicker. It allowed him to, you know, get those reinforcements just a little bit quicker. GG is called. Silky is able to tie up the series sideways 1-1.
Oh, GG, well played. It wasn't the cleanest game, but it was a game nonetheless. We are tied up. We are going to have a more back and forth series.
Yeah. And that is getting me a little bit excited here, Light. I mean, we're not just seeing a back and forth between the series. We're not just seeing it being a little bit more up in the air. We're not just seeing Silky play how we play to our expectations. We're also seeing an opponent who is very, very new, very, very fresh, but also forcing Silky to play his absolute best here. Oh
yeah, definitely. It really is forcing that out of Silky, and so far it's been a wild ride. At least we have, you know, a more back and forth series. I do see a world there where Nanami would be up 2-0 right now. So clearly Nanami, despite being a newer face to the scene, can take it to a player of the caliber of veteran status like Silky.
Yeah, one of the camels, if you will.
There you go.
And you don't get to become a camel if you're not experienced.
There you go. I didn't know how to follow that up, but yeah. Meanwhile, I want to give a massive shout out to iScar in the chat as well, as we do have some of the ESL admins slipping on in, and yes, we will be ready for the closed qualifier tomorrow morning.
Yes, still a little bit of time before that. Okay.
Yes, as it seems as if I am experiencing a lobby bug, so I would ask you to please ask them to wait, as I am going to restart my client and get back in so we can continue our series.
Yes, they have just decided to also remake the lobby for because I think the map was wrong or something. So yeah, you do have a little bit more time going on there.
Beautiful. So we are going to be continuing. As a reminder, this is most likely going to be our final series of the night. Maybe we can slip into a second qualifying match. It depends.
Yeah, and speaking of that second qualifying match,
True.
XY has just beaten Firefly 3-1, and so our lower qualifying match is not going to be another TVP. It is, in fact, going to be a PvP between Firefly and Jim.
Wow. Okay, Jim was able to take down Takanashi 2-1. So we are going to be seeing that PvP qualifying match. Wow, I'm honestly really impressed by XY.
Yeah, as am I. I mean, XY has been popping off quite a bit recently. He has kind of been giving hope to a lot of. He's been kind of giving hope to a lot of more old school players in a way.
Mm-hmm.
He has been here for so long, and he has shown no signs of stopping. In fact, he's showing signs of peaking once again, really having some good results. He may or may not have been favored here against Firefly specifically, but I don't think anyone favored him enough to expect him to go 3-1.
Yeah, like that's a pretty unexpected result, especially because based off of how Firefly has been performing recently. Firefly has been absolutely insane. So yeah, very impressive there by XY. As I am experiencing the lobby bug once again. Are you in the lobby of the players?
I am not. No.
Okay.
I haven't been invited.
Okay.
And I don't know how to manually join.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I don't think I can. I don't have any of these players on my friends list.
Yeah. Just some client issues. I do apologize. Sometimes this can happen, not just on the Chinese client, but like on just any client. Mm-hmm. It happens.
Yeah. What an optimized game that we've got here.
Yeah, I hope that they don't start without us. That's my biggest fear when it comes to these scenarios. As I'm trying to relog and trying to come back in, and hopefully everything's gonna be okay. And,
Don't think they're in game yet. Yep. Wait. Yeah. I don't think they're in game yet. So we are just sorting this. Thankfully, the players are a little accommodating to us in our time of need.
Yes. Oh boy. Yeah, I know that sometimes this can be a little bit frustrating because players they just want to get into games and stuff like that. But it looks like this time everything should be okay because my portrait has actually loaded. Good signs.
Yes. It rendered.
It did render. Yes, it did render. Oh boy. But yeah, for those wondering, this is going to be our final qualifier of the night. But in around 9-ish hours, I think 9 hours, we are going to be back here with DreamHack close qualifier for Latin America.
Yeah, I believe that. No, I think it's still NA after that, right?
No, we did NA this morning.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so that will be the final of the closed qualifiers for every single DreamHack regional event. After that, there's a little bit of a break between... After that, there'll be a little bit of a break, but then it's time to get excited because it'll then be time for the DreamHack regionals.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a couple of days break to where we can recover and recuperate, and then bam, just dive right into those regionals. We have confirmation we will be the B stream for Oceania, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China. When it comes to the other regions, we will most likely get involved there. We just have to again just get in contact and sort all that stuff out. It's run by different people. One's ESL, the other's ESL Australia.
It is. Oh yeah. Yeah, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China are both covered by ESL Australia.
Yes.
Which makes sense. Time zones, you know?
Mm-hmm. Does make sense. So very exciting times here when it comes to DreamHack Atlanta, and can we please join the lobby?
Yeah, I'm in.
Are you in?
I'm in.
Oh.
Are you in?
I am most likely going to get the lobby bug once again. But we'll see. I'll wait it out this time.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, it says you've left the lobby.
Oh, it says I've left the lobby. Oh, okay. Yeah. Just I think please stay in the lobby. Ask them to wait, and I think for the next one, maybe give me a lobby link. Because I've been like directly invited, and that's just not working. It's not. Yeah. Yeah, we apologize for the technical issues. We apologize.
Yes. Yeah, we'll just try to get this all sorted out pretty soon. We're just, we'll experiment a little bit there to see if lobby link and having, clicking on that lobby link instead of trying to, whatchamacallit. Oh, wait. That didn't work.
To decline this, I'm going to. What map is it, by the way?
It is Cosmic Sapphire.
Okay. I can make my own lobby.
Wait, hold on.
What's up?
A lobby link doesn't seem to be working.
Oh, true. Lobby link is broken.
Oh, no. Oh!
I'm in.
It worked!
It worked, papi. Friends list. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Woo!
Oh, God. So, direct invites would work, but if you joined from the friends list, it did. There you go.
That's what I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I've been doing when you were invited, and it worked. So, I guess we'll both try to be... one of us will be invited, and whoever isn't invited will just, beat a +1.
There you go.
Of the other. Anyway, we are now finally going to be continuing our best of 5 qualifying match here on Cosmic Sapphire.
Up.
Getting a bit of a pause going on here. Yep.
It's all good. It's all good. At least we're in game this time, and it looks like maybe there's a little bit of latency. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, at least we've crossed one barrier. We're making progress.
We're almost there.
Whoa! That's copyrighted.
I love it. Minty in the chat. Old man XY can still move his fingers.
That's all you need. I'm waiting for the Fear Dragon bot to get sophisticated enough that, you can play by just going ding, ding, ding. Anyway, we're on Cosmic Sapphire, or in the Mandarin. I'm not going to try. In the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, we have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of China. He is going to be representing the starved camels. He is Silky.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we have the Chinese Protoss player himself representing Mystery Gaming. It is Nanami.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, half my mind is occupied by imagining what a ding 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 setup would look like while playing StarCraft 2.
I mean, they could make it work. I think recently someone tweeted out there was someone that was playing an FPS with a recorder.
Literally like a flute recorder in Call of Duty Warzone to aim and shoot the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
You have to be very precise with your notes there, I imagine.
Yes, exactly. So I'm sure it can be done. Fear Dragon, I'm sure he's already on it.
Yeah, is it more difficult or is it easier to do for an RTS? Because,
the most difficult part would just be moving the camera. How would you move the camera up, down, left, right, basically? Yeah, that's gonna be the hardest part, as well as mouse movement, obviously, But yeah, it's pretty cool what Fear Dragon has already been able to accomplish. For those who don't know, he basically created hands-free StarCraft, which is he moves the mouse with his eye. He has an eye tracker camera for his eyes, and he voice commands like buildings basically, and creating units and stuff like that.
Yeah, both audio and video involved in that.
Yeah, it's insane.
How do you hotkey things, though?
With the command. The voice command.
So you go like 1.
No, it would be more than it'd be so you would select whatever units and then you'd be like control group 1 or something, right? Or control group 2 or whatever, you know, like you just announce it. And obviously you can customize that to whatever you want, right? If you want to be a little bit more role play, then you can change that, obviously.
I was just imagining it more like build order style, where it's like SCV B A barracks A A A A A.
That's not
Marine A. Ooh.
God damn it, Yaku. Shaking my head. Oh god. But for now, we are getting into our game, and it looks like we do have another Stargate opener here from our Protoss player. Is this time going for the Oracle first?
Yeah, very different coming out here from Nanami. I guess he has decided to switch things up since the previous game didn't quite go his way. We are getting a little bit of a hero style, but whether it's CJ hero or ladder hero, that's to be determined as the second Oracle finishes up.
Oh boy, that is going to be the question here. I mean, we are seeing a second Oracle, we are seeing a Twilight Council before this. This is looking like the most standard opener here that we have ever seen the entire night here in DreamHack China. And I'm sure that Silky is going to be very happy about that.
Oh yeah. Watch this be the one game where he doesn't get +1 melee.
No. I mean, he's getting a fast lair, puppy. Oh my god, a very fast lair straight to a Roach Warren. God.
One time he gets the hero style. But to be fair, we'll see if Nanami does decide to commit to Blink Stalkers or not. There we go. That's what I was alluding to a little bit. It could, of course, still be a little bit of a charge timing coming out from him. We don't see Templar Archive yet, but there's still plenty of time.
It is going to be for those charges. Meanwhile, we do see that Silky's going for a little bit of a link run by, but the defensive position is just a little bit too good, and it looks like he's trying to sell a story. He sees 3 Oracles. Again, triple Oracle into Blink Stalkers makes so much sense, and even if we did have an Overlord into the main base, that is kind of what it would look like. I say kind of because we did pull out of gas. There is that gateway explosion. 8 gates once again, or actually, sorry, 7 gates. No, 8 gates. There we go.
Wait.
Oh boy. And yeah, with that, the 2 Oracles are going to be dipping into the main base as well. I'm actually going to be able to get a couple of drones.
Yeah, 2 Oracles do one-shot these drones. It was insanely close for this Oracle that has literally 1 health left, by the way, to make it out of here. And yeah, he's definitely going to have to be a little bit more careful with how he maneuvers that particular Oracle.
Mate. Nanami is crazy.
Nanami is looking like Silky.
Nanami has no fear. Oh my god.
It's got even more gateways to complement this gold base. And you know what, Light? I'm looking at the positioning of the Zerg bases. This is very, very close to that 3rd base. He may or may not mine from this gold base, but he is primed to attack the Zerg player from this location with those gateways.
I am terrified right now. I mean, to be fair, we do have a lot of roaches. We have 16 roaches. That is plenty to defend alongside these queens. Just not quite in position. So there we go. They are going to rotate around. And this Zealot force is going to be pushed back. We have not hit critical mass of Zealots.
Yeah. There's a point in time where Zealots will be able to overwhelm when there aren't too many roaches out on the map. But of course, since roaches produce a lot quicker, especially when you have a lot of larvae available for you, the Protoss player is going to have to be a bit more defensive, and right now Nanami, like you said, has no fear, has no defenses.
Yeah, and now we have a massive Roach counterattack. We have a couple of Stalkers here, but nothing to support. There are no Immortals, there are no Disruptors, there are no Archons, there's nothing. Only Charge-Outs, only a couple of Oracles, and the Roach is going to break in.
Yeah, the Oracles don't really have that much energy at that. We unfortunately didn't have too many stasis forts set up in anticipation for this. There's 1 Oracle of energy remaining, and with the quick warping of Stalkers, it's not quite what Nanami wanted to go into, but that is keeping him alive for the time being.
Yeah, it really is. It looks like Nanami has to fall back to this shield battery, to this overcharge. The Roach count is being whittled away at. These +1 vanilla, sorry, +1 Stalkers. They are blinkless, but they clean this up.
Yeah, and in the end, Nanami doesn't really sustain too much economic damage. Silky, actually the one behind on the worker count, since of course he did dedicate a lot of larva to his roach count.
And I'm a little bit scared because if we look at the vision of Silky, Silky hasn't seen the gold. Silky is going for a run by here to go in towards that right-hand side base. Oh my god, station trap goes off. And finally he gets eyes on the gold.
Yeah, but not before a couple of defenses do get thrown down here for Nanami. A quick little kill on some of them as you're warping in. And this is exactly what Silky needs to do with his roach count. It's a massive army supply, and he is splitting them up to kill as many probes as possible.
Yeah, shield battery overcharge gets wasted. 7 probes are going to go down. To be fair, we can afford to lose some workers, and Nanami is being pulled apart right now. But Nanami cannot defend either base right now.
Yeah, again, he hasn't reached critical mass of gateway units just yet, where Silky has pretty much reached critical mass of roaches. Such a huge window of opportunity right now, and Silky is making the most out of it.
Yeah, exactly. 15 probes are going to be going down. Eventually, this roach army will be cleaned up, to be fair. And this is why I start to worry a little bit, because Silky... Oh! The files will kill one of those oracles, but Silky cut a lot of drones. This is a 3-race all-in, by the way. Like, there is no plan B. It's just roach. Like, this is it.
Yeah, and the roach is not quite the best unit here. It's not the most supply-efficient unit, and all Nanami needs to do is survive a couple more waves before he rounds off his army. I say that, but Nanami hasn't really been teching up either, in all fairness.
Yeah, to be fair, Nanami has a much better economy and can sustain or can take up if he so wishes. Would you see +2 already done here for Nanami? The stasis trap!
Catches a nice count of the roaches here. And it gives Nanami a nice little heads up, you know. He rotates his stalkers around and will be taking out these roaches. I do like that Silky is concentrating his forces on this gold base, but it does also mean that Nanami has a lot less to defend.
Yeah, but you know what? There's just too much Protoss here. Again, like, this gold base has more than paid for itself. It did go unscouted for oh so long, and it's been allowing Nanami to just macro up and just continue to warp in wave after wave off of these, what, 10+ gateways.
You know, who needs force fields when you have this many stalkers out in the map and they provide their own kind of body blocking? GG is called. Nanami Chiaki will be taking game number 3 of some very, very, very cheeky, gold-based gateway shenanigans.
Wow. GG, well played. Congratulations to Nanami for taking that game. Now is 1 game away from qualifying. But that was wild.
Yeah. And there really was a point where I was legitimately worried for Nanami there. You know, he did get 10+ gateways. He didn't have a robo facility. He had oracles and not any other Stargate unit. Mm-hmm. And I thought, this is Silky with almost twice the army supply, man. He can strike through all of this and end up taking the entire game. But no, apparently not. Like you said, the gold base wasn't scouted for so long, and despite the fact that Nanami was working purely off of gateway units, he had more than enough resources, more than enough production to just overwhelm with gateway units each and every time Silky went for the attack.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Silky was all in, and we talk about it all the time. The first push is usually the deadliest, and it was the most intimidating, right? When the roaches did push out across the map. But when it got defended, then +1 finished, and then +2 was on the way, and then over time the economy really kicked in. Over time, the army was able to overwhelm and just completely pull apart whatever Silky had. Just an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sure Silky was just hoping for a little bit more of a concern. Like, no one knew that the gold was coming. It was crazy. Yeah. It was crazy.
Not even we knew, and we have vision.
Exactly.
We're observers, you know.
Like, what kind of Protoss player goes for the gold like that? Like, the third wasn't even saturated when the gold was on the way. Oh my god.
I'll tell you, the super high school Protoss.
There you go.
As we continue and hopefully don't conclude our best of 5 qualifying match here on Tropical Sacrifice, In the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we of course have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of China. He is going to be representing the starved camels themselves, SSL3. He is Silky.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice, we have the Chinese Protoss player himself representing Mystery Gaming. It is Nanami.
I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen Data C yet tonight.
Yeah, the Chinese players have been avoiding Data C, which is interesting because it's one of the more standard macro-oriented maps. But I guess, to be fair, we haven't really been getting many standard.
Well, at that point, which came first? Are we not getting Data C because our players are playing more standard and macro, or are we not getting standard macro games because our players are playing on Data C?
Oh, what came first? The chicken or the egg? The chicken or the man?
Well, if you think about it, chickens are men. If you cut this out.
Shout out to the chicken in the chat, by the way. As we are getting into our next game, and again, it did feel as if Silky just was going for that all-in, had fed up with the nonsense that was occurring in this series and wanted to just end the game then and there, and he did, just in favor of his opponent.
Yeah, those are my favorite types of quick games. You know,
yeah,
the ones where the players who decides to end it doesn't end it.
Does end it.
Well, they do end it, but you know.
yeah.
Not quite. Look.
Oh god, it's so good. It's so good. But we do see that actually this game, Silky did actually go for a much faster third hatchery.
Yeah, playing this out a lot more economically, not going for any safety roach warrens, or not going for any quick layers like he previously did. I think this may be the first time, not just in the series, but in this entire tournament, he did play nothing but ZvP tonight, where he did go for that earlier third, but he is still getting an early roach warren.
Very fast roach warren here. Okay, so a couple of things. This was a very fast third base, and he delayed his queen production because of it. He only has a single queen, by the way, in between all these bases, and we see why. It is for, I imagine, the larva, as we are getting into a roach rush.
This is exactly what he did against Jim earlier tonight that allowed him to win that game in less than 5 minutes, but we'll see how well Silky is able to scout this, or Nanami, sorry, is able to scout this. Tropical Sacrifice, it is a bit of a larger map. The rush distance is fairly straightforward, but it is a long one. Void Ray coming out for
exactly. I do feel like Nanami is reading this correctly. We have a shield battery behind this as well. Here we go. The Lings have revealed themselves, and Lings are going to be able to power through at least one of these adepts, but we have a full off behind this.
Yeah, I mean, he might not even have needed that full wall up here, as the adept was able to survive.
And here we go. The rush has commenced. The roaches are rushing across the map. Lings are behind this as well. But the Void Ray is king. Nothing is going to shoot up. This Void Ray is insane defensively.
Yeah, I mean, he could try to go for some biles, but I don't think that's really going to work out too well for him. One Overlord is going to go down, and that completely supply caps Silky. He is going to have some difficulty reinforcing this position. Shield batteries here. There's always an overcharge available if he needs it, and he has not popped Charismatic Alignment yet. He hasn't needed to.
Oh god, he had actually used it against the Overlord earlier, so it looks like Nanami does misread the situation a little bit there. The Void Ray is going to go ham and eventually clean this up, but again, damage is being done.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a misplay there for Nanami. Do we have Game Heart? We do. Yeah. Only one probe has gone down, but it's not the probes that Silky is going for right now. It is the production. It is every single building over here. There are no more gateways powered, but we still have that second Void Ray coming out. We still have this Stargate, which is the absolute king in this defense.
Yeah, there we go. We have two of those Void Rays. The boys are being pulled as well. We have a shield battery in the mineral line. It looks like the roaches are going to get surrounded.
Yeah, and they will finally start going down. A little bit of damage has been done, though. Not quite enough for Silky to be satisfied. He is going back home. He is droning up as much as he can.
And I don't think it was enough, because look at the probe count. Like you yourself were like, we don't have game harm, right? There's no way that no probes died. No probes died. Like Nanami was doing such a great job at just keeping these workers alive throughout that entire attack.
Yeah, surprisingly, we're at 36 probes versus 27 drones right now. And sure, Nanami, I mean, he lost some infrastructure, but this is still a Protoss player that is far, far ahead of his Zerg opponent. The absolute nightmare scenario for every Zerg player.
I'll be honest, these Void Rays, if they rock up to the third, they could just kill the third. We were talking about it before. There was only a single queen amongst, all these bases. At the same time, there's a little bit of a ling run by, but no, they do get thwarted. There was a shield battery. It looks like the third base has not been scouted, so we do see our Protoss player a little bit in the dark. Is going to go for the natural instead. There is still potential to deal damage, though. He goes straight for the spore.
Yeah, that does get cancelled in the end. Nanami going for the queens, and he will be able to take out one of them and still survive, but the second queen pops out, and one of these Void Rays should go down. I say should.
Up.
There we go. The Void Ray finally does go down, but at the cost of 2 queens.
Yeah, kind of worth it there. I mean, you know, at least the Void Ray was able to go down, but this is where I really worry. We have Glaive Adepts on the way. We have 4 gateways. Right now, Silky is in full droning mode, in full economy mode. Not so much army. There are 9 lings between all these bases.
Yeah. We even have a couple of DTs to try to slip in wherever they can. There is detection. There are these spores. But like you said, like, where's the army to make use of that detection? What is the damage dealer gonna be against these DTs and these adepts?
Yeah, thankfully we have 18 links on the way here for Silky, and that will 100% help. But depending on the positioning, I mean, Glaive Adepts, they love links. They want links.
Yeah, speaking of positioning, this is exactly that position they want to be in.
Yeah.
Those 18 links are on the way, but they're only on the way. They're not out here right now. Nanami having a pretty fun time taking out the lings one by one. With this 4 going down, he can just focus the base.
Well, I mean, he can just leave the DT here and kill the base. Meanwhile, the Adepts are going to be going into that natural base. There are some Banelings, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit more precarious of a position here for Nanami, but he will be able to kill a base.
The splits!
Split a very, very good.
Oh my god.
Actually. The Banelings do get taken out, and I don't think a single Adept died to the Banes.
That was disgusting. The splits were insane. We have 3 more Banelings above this, by the way, but the splits once again are real.
Yo. And he's just playing this out as safe and as cautiously as can be. He's not going up this ramp where his opponent has that advantage. Nanami, in the end, will go back home and will be content with containing his opponent on just 2 bases. Nanami's having fun. He knows he's in control, and he's taking 3 more Stargates, because why the hell not? I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a fleet beacon.
We have 4 Stargate. I don't even think we have the economy and the gas to sustain full Void Ray production. I don't think it's possible, but you know what? He's going for it anyway.
Because what is Silky gonna do about this?
Nothing.
He knows. Nanami is well aware who's in control of this map.
Oh no, Nanami doesn't want to just win. He wants to break the mind and the soul of his opponents. Ay. There is +1 air attack on the way. Again, we don't have the gas to sustain 4 Void Ray production, but we are now taking our gases here at our 3rd base, and maybe we can get there. Copium, as Silky is being forced all in right now, is still stuck on 2 bases.
Yeah, an infestation pit did get thrown down, so he is trying to tech out from this, but a Nidus Worm has also been thrown down, and that is, I think, going to be the last hurrah of this game. It could potentially work out for him. I mean, he has a decent queen count for anti-air. But Void Rays are exactly what you want against Lings and against Banelings.
That's the thing, right? Like, I have to wonder, yeah, it's going to be Swarm host Nidus, and unfortunately, this does get hard countered by Void Rays. Just like how in ZvZ gets hard countered by Mutas. Thankfully, there is no Fleet Beacon for Void Ray speed for Flux Veins. So the Void Rays are going to have a hard time keeping up with all of this, but regardless, like, This is insanely desperate. Oh.
Yeah, that's a lot of adepts here for Nanami to defend against those swarm hosts and those locusts as well. Meanwhile, I see a wall of spine crawlers light. I don't see any spore crawlers.
We needed a wall of spores, not a wall of spines. Aye. We do have one Nidus here on the right-hand side, and a couple of locust waves are going to be able to pop out, and they will force a reaction. Meanwhile, Nanami doesn't even have to turn around. If Nanami wanted to, could just fly into the main.
Yeah, he heard the Nidus swarm pop out, and of course he doesn't know that it's swarm host Nidus. Just in case it's Lings, he does turn his Void Race around, but like you said, once he confirms what's popping out from this Nidus, I don't think he'll see any reason to stay home with his Void Race.
Yeah, exactly. We do have a massive Ling run by here towards the natural base. Oh, it does get a little bit of a kill of, I believe that was a sentry, but the Lings don't find too much else. Maybe Silky can go for a run by once again and try and cripple the economy, but like this Void Ray count is disgusting, and there's that Fleet Beacon.
Yeah, once Flux Veins finishes up, there's nothing that's going to be holding Silky back. I was going to say, Nanami hasn't really been able to get a 4th base, but yeah, every time I think about that, I look back in the minimap, I look back at that wall of spine crawlers, and I remember that Silky is on 2 base economy.
Yeah, stuck on only 2 base economy. We have a lot of Locust Wave, though, by the way. Like, there's a lot of Swarm Hosts, don't get me wrong, and even Queens here. This position is quite powerful. It's quite strong. If he was up against Ground Toss, not so much against Sky Toss.
Yeah. Flux Veins about halfway done. 4 Void Rays. Just keep getting pumped out one after another. It's funny to witness here. Once again, a lot of Queens, a lot of Transfuse energy, but we also have a lot of Void Rays.
Yeah, and there's one Transfuse left. There we go. That is the final Transfuse. The Queens are going to fall one after the other. There's one Infestor, but not enough energy for any kind of spell, and it's even going to go down before it's able to fungal.
Every unit dives into that Nidus Worm. Once again, it's a little bit of a desperate attempt here for Silky, but the Nidus gets canceled towards the north. Those units are still alive,
no, they're dead.
They're not...
Oh, wait, no, okay, no, over here. This is like a Nidus.
Yeah, there's still one Nidus head.
Yeah, if
but they're not really in the position. I wish that second Nidus was dead. That would have been funny to see.
That would have been terrifying, man. That would have been terrifying. The main base is going to go down. We still have that one Nidus. These units are trapped. It is a one-way trip, and the Void Rays are going ham here because, again, spines don't shoot up.
Silky's APM went down to 0 for a second. He was just contemplating his position, but it is not good enough. GG is called, and Silky will not be the player advancing to the DreamHack regional event. It is going to be a very fresh face, a newcomer here who made it from the open qualifiers all the way to the end, Nanami Chiaki. The super high school Protoss himself taking that series 3-1.
I am in awe. But also my heart goes out to Silky because I know Silky is a very strong player, is a very solid player, and I feel like Silky wasn't able to really showcase that here tonight, period. Both against Maxed and even here against Nanami. Silky was fighting his heart out, but was really having a hard time scouting his opponents. That's when there was that one game a couple of games ago, I think it was game 2 or game 3, where Silky went for a very fast lair, and I was like, you know, maybe he's doing this to get a fast overseer. I was like, maybe he'll get a faster, and then he's gonna go and scout, then he's gonna figure out what's happening. But no, that was the game where he went into a fast hydrogen and fast lurker on Cosmic Sapphire. It's like yeah, he was just having a really hard time against these Protoss players. They were all so wild. They were all just doing so many different builds. And yeah, both Maxed and Nanami, they looked really good. Damn. Yeah,
I'm 100% in agreement with you there. Like, if either Maxed or Silky played a little bit more orthodox, we saw Silky was 100% prepared for that. He knew exactly what he needed to do to counter Blink Stalkers at hero style. But we didn't see the hero style coming out tonight. Not from Maxed, not from Nanami, not even from Jim, honestly. But yeah, in the end, that's exactly what our Protoss players needed to do to beat Zerg, and we do have confirmation now, Light.
Oh.
That was our final qualifying match of the evening of the closed qualifiers here. Firefly has just edged out his series against Jim 3-2. And we actually, I think that series actually concluded quicker than ours.
It did. They went all the way to the ace match there. I'm impressed that Jim took it to the ace match, and it would have been amazing if he made it through. Especially because we have our biases against Firefly Kappa. But congratulations to Firefly. He does make it through into that main event.
He does in the end. Very well played by our Chinese Protoss player over there. Very well played by Protoss players in general tonight. I think XY was the only non-Protoss player who advanced to the main qualifier.
And I am not looking forward to this because usually in the Chinese main events, we have at least one, maybe two Zerg players. In the past, Wanted has made it, or even Silky has made it. They're the two that come to mind. This season, 0 Zergs are going to be in the main event for DreamHack Atlanta, China.
Yep.
Wow.
But, that's what we have to look forward to in the upcoming weeks. I think that we don't have that equilibrium of 4 Protoss, 4 Terran this time. Let me double check here. So my Google Chrome is lagging out a little bit. Just trying to get to that bracket. But yeah, once again, we have returned to that state of perfect balance here, at least in the Chinese region, where it is nothing but Protoss and Terran.
Yep, 5 Protoss and 3 Terran here.
There we go.
Oh my god. So for those wondering, it is the players who qualified today: Firefly, Maxed, Nanami, and XY. They will be joining Cyan, Jeshi, Coffee, and Time.
Oh. Time and Cyan, especially the players to look out for. I think Time, a little bit more. He is the favorite. He has regained his throne last season in DreamHack Valencia after being dethroned by Cyan in 2021 winter. But yeah, I mean, I'm just excited here, Light, because we are getting new blood in the Chinese region. Nanami being able to prove himself here a little bit. And so we are overall kind of seeing the same faces, but who knows? We could have a bit of a wild card here in the Super High School.
Yeah, Nanami is a wild card, I believe, making it to the main event for the very first time. Likewise, I believe it was last season, or I think it was actually DreamHack Winter last year, where Cyan was able to take down Time. So yeah, like, upsets can happen. Time doesn't just have to be the dominant force in the region. Things are going to get real exciting for DreamHack China. Just not exciting if you're a Zerg player.
Look, at least it's not for... No, what am I saying? I was going to say at least we're not going to see a group of nothing but Protoss this time, but we actually have more Protoss players. It's more likely we see a group with nothing but Protoss.
It's possible we could get a Protoss group. It's very possible. It's very possible. Oh boy. So yes, we will be covering that over when it comes to the DreamHack main event for China, but that is a couple of weeks away. For those wondering, we will be the B stream, the official B stream, over on ESL_SC2B for China, as well as Taiwan, Hong Kong, and as well as Oceania. When it comes to the rest of the regions, we have yet to confirm which days and which regions we are going to be doing. Most likely, we always try and do at least Latin America. We at least try to get monopoly on that. So we will do our best.
Espanol intro.
Oh boy. And with that, GG, well played. Yaku, where can people find you, mates? What are you going to be up
to? Google spreadsheets and Microsoft Word for the most part. Yeah, October is going to be a bit of a busy month for me. But if I ever do get some free time to have a stream, that's going to be held over at twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. I'll try to announce when I go live, if I go live, over at twitter.com/mpore Yakuzaku, and ! Discord in the chat will bring you to the CranKy Ducklings Discord server. I'm there, Light is there, Kuro is there, everyone's there, mate.
Everyone is there. So make sure you're a part of that Discord server and make sure that you follow us all over the place. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. We are all over the place and you can follow us and we will announce when we go live. Our next broadcast is going to be in 7.5 hours. Is it maybe 8.5 hours?
A little bit of time to sleep.
Yes, thankfully. We are going to be casting DreamHack Latin America, the final closed qualifier for all the regions. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing time there. I'm going to be casting, I believe, with Darking. I think Darking is going to join me for that. And actually, I haven't looked at the bracket yet. Let's have a look here. Yeah, we are. Oh, we will be casting. We will be casting Ryu versus Paco Mike.
Ooh, okay then. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a ZvP to look out for. Paco Mike, I think he might be the only Protoss player in that bracket. Let me just double check.
Oh, there's plenty of Protoss, man. There's plenty of Protoss.
Oh, there's plenty of Protoss. Yeah. Yes, I forgot this wasn't a Sentimiento Latino.
Yeah. So that is going to be that DreamHack Latin America qualifier. Also, I want to give a special shout out to Jim Rising as well, because he made a tweet, a long tweet actually with multiple parts talking about his career and saying that he plans for this DreamHack Latin America run to be his final one before he finally does retire. If you don't know, Jim has been playing in less and less weekly tournaments like the Sentimiento Latinos and Copa Hyperions because he has been casting a lot of League of Legends. He's been focusing on other games and he's been growing a lot as a streamer. Like he's really popular nowadays and has a lot of different like brand sponsorships, and he plays other games, and he's become a proper variety streamer, which is really cool to see. And of course, he needs to do what is profitable because he now has a family. He now has a son. So he's got to do it all for Old Mate Ben. Yeah.
Wait, is that the name?
I think it's Benjamin. I think.
Benjamin. Huh.
Yeah, I remember it's a name kind of like that. Like I used to know it and then I forgot it, and maybe it's not Benjamin, but I think so.
Benjamin would make sense though, because then you have Jim and Ben.
There you
go. Or Jaime and Ben. Wait, Benjamin Arturo Duran
Silencio. Oh my god.
Oh, actually, I don't know what the two middle names are, but yeah, Benjamin Silencio.
Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing. So massive shout out to Jim Rising. He's a great guy and he's a great player and a great pillar of the Latin American community and the Latin American scene.
For the longest time, he was pretty much seen as the face of the Latin American scene.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I guess maybe internationally, like, it's special when it comes to the foreign scene, but when it comes to actual Latin America, like, Jim is seen more than special. Like, Jim is like, everyone turns to him. So when it comes to content and when it comes to, like, again, everything else, so yeah, it's gonna be a wild time. Be sure you're there to cheer for our Ducklings, because we do have some Latin American Ducklings that will be taking place. We
have one specifically in the closed qualifiers, because I am very happy to remind everybody, Eric has already been seeded to the main event.
Yeah, he's just that good. Eric is already in that main event, just like how Vindicta's in the main event for North America. So make sure you're there to cheer for our Ducklings. Until then, though, it's time to get more than 4 hours of sleep. Let's go!
I made the mistake that Asher was talking about last night of how I decided to sleep in this morning. And that's something that you should never do if you had a period of not sleeping, of sleeping a little bit less. You gotta ease yourself back in to sleeping, to having a normal non-degen like schedule.
Exactly. You gotta ease it in, papi, ease it in. Don't just go full ham. Don't go full Shaft of Voltron.
Shaft needs to be eased in.
Oh god. So yes, thank you so much everyone for watching. If you want to tune into more of my own content, light_VIP, I do some solo content, some personal streams, some ladder sessions, some VODs on YouTube of some other games and other playthroughs. So you can follow me there if you're interested in that sort of thing. If you're not, I don't blame you. You know, if you're only interested in StarCraft casting, then we got you here on the CranKy Ducklings. Also shout out to Alive in the Wired, who gave us some gifted subs earlier at the start of the broadcast. All the money that we make here on Twitch and all the money that we make on Patreon, right now it all goes towards our players, our player salaries, player flights, and also to our tournaments that we do host as well. So it's thanks to you guys that we can, you know, support our players as much as we do.
One day we'll get that team house, but till then, !Patreon in the chat, sub in the Twitch channel. We really do appreciate it, and so do our players.
Yeah, one day we'll have enough to fly our players to Korea. I remember that was the original plan before COVID. When the foreigner team house was a thing, we wanted to fly Oreo there, and then COVID happened, and then the team house shut down, and it's like but that would be like my goal is to be able to provide that again for one of our players. Imagine Vindicta in Korea, you know, like oh my God.
That would be insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane. You know, one day we'll collude with I don't know, I guess we'll collude with some of our connections over there in Korea. Holy moly, just saying.
What, so Vindic can sleep in the closet?
No. We'll get like a full on, you know, we'll like expand the team house that No Regret has going on over there, but hey, you know, till then we can get Vindicta to sleep in the closet.
I was gonna be like, yeah, you know, we do have some contacts in Korea. Maybe he can sleep with Murphy and Zola. He can.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, they do like sleeping with people. You know, it's
they do.
It's a very comfy apartment.
Like cuddling up.
But anyway, that tangent aside, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. I hope you enjoyed the DreamHack China Close qualifiers. The main event will be in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. And we will see you guys in 8 hours and 30 minutes for Latin America.
We'll see you then.
Ciao.
Papi Bella.